The JAJAM community joined me and we built Agatha of the Vile Cauldron live on stream together, and I want to show you the entire process. If you like deck techs like this, let me know down in the comments and we'll make sure to put some more of these up. Give me just a second to thank our patrons and we will be right back with the deck tech for Agatha.
Highest level of gratitude to our patrons who power the channel through Patreon. Check out the Patreon link in the description to learn about monthly giveaways, VIP Discord access, and even our official playmat.
So Agatha of the Vile Cauldron, a green, a red for a 1/1 human warlock. Activated abilities of creatures you control cost X less to activate, where X is Agatha the Vile Cauldron's power. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana, and for 6, but reduce, so 5 out of the gate, and then less if you can grow Agatha's power. Other creatures you control get +1/+1, gain trample and haste until end of turn. The idea here is run creatures with good activated abilities, specifically activated abilities like Jade Mage that create 1/1s or create creature tokens. Dragon Whisperer, as you can see, that formidable. We can reduce that down 4. You're paying 2 mana to put 4/4 flying dragons onto the battlefield. And then we've got Agatha's ability, other creatures you control gain +1/+1, trample and haste till end of turn to overrun and win the game. Secondarily, we've got cards like Ball's Invoker. It's where the name of the deck comes from. Ball's Invoker deals 4 damage to each opponent for 8, but if we can reduce that down to 1, because Agatha cannot reduce it lower than 1, we will be able to repeatedly deal 4 damage to each opponent. Just dump mana into it. We have redundancy on that in cards like Valakut, Flame Wave. We have redundancy on our creature strategies going wide. We got Wild Heart Invoker, Ant Queen creating tokens, Soul of Zendikar, Jade Mage, like I said. Some more options over time of creatures that create creature tokens off of activated abilities that can be repeatedly activated. That's going to be pretty huge. Mana Dorks to fill that up. We run 1 infinite mana combo, Dockside Extortionist and Teamer Sabertooth. Your opponent's got to have at least 4 artifacts or enchantments on the battlefield total all together, but you can get infinite mana that way. And you can already see infinite mana is just incredibly valuable in this deck because we're running a lot of creatures that can just be dumped mana wise and win the game for you. And then you've got cards like Tooth and Nail, Finale, Shared Summons. Got creature tutors to go and find our combo pieces. I think in this current state, we need a little bit more pump on Agatha. Our initial play tests, which I'll show you after this, didn't really get the sprinting start that I think you need to get with this deck. And so we're going to take a little bit of it back to the drawing board, come up with some more ways to passively pump Agatha. Even if we can get Agatha up into that 2, 3, 4 range, that's huge for us. We got our creature tutors. Instants and sorceries are pretty straightforward. Ramp, tutors, board wipe, removal on artifacts, tutor, survival, removal, tutor, protection, tutor. This is pump and protection. Card draw. I think that Skull Clamp is probably going to be one of the first cards that comes out. Just not seeing enough tokens. Strategy, it's kind of a backup thing, and we really only need to get one of those cards to start pumping up tokens. But if we're in that realm, we're trying to go for the win with create a ton of tokens, give them a ton of activations of Agatha, and roll with it that way. Soul Ring, Agatha Soul Cauldron is just flavor win, and it's a pretty good mythic. Arcane Signet. This is 3 mana to get Agatha pumped up. This is like huge. If you can get this early with this deck, you're gonna win that game. Especially if you can find one of your tutors. Illusionist Bracers, Battle Mages Bracers from our initial test. I think these 2 are cuts. 1, 2, and 3 are all cuts right now. And these could be more easily focused into like just 3 immediate ways to get her up 2, 2, 3, 3, or 4, 4. And then Great Hinge, obviously. Board wipe that creates treasures. I think that Spiteful Banditry is another potential cut. Growing Rights, because it's such a creature-based deck. Same with Shadow in the Warp. You know, these three are an area you can play around. Creature tutor to get our combo or our finishers. Card draw in a creature-based deck. 5 mana to reduce all your activateds by 8. Huge. And then same thing with Raised by Giants, just on a larger scale. 6 mana to lower them by 10. Relevant lands. Oron Reef, Vastwood, dropping a counter. Same with Forge of Heroes, dropping a counter. Tyrite Sanctum, dropping a counter. Card draw in a 2-color deck. War Room, love that card. Past that, pretty standard stuff. Card draw for a creature deck. Green Rant. We're pretty dependent on our commander with this deck, so Command Beacon plays an important role, as does Plaza of Heroes. Bring it back, get around taxes, protect it. Kessig Wolf Run is one where I'm kind of medium on it, but it is on a land, and it's a good land regardless. And then a creature-based deck running Rogue's Passage. Classic. Curve is pretty solid currently. I would say that your cuts right now live in Spiteful Banditry, Growing Rights, Shadow in the Warp, Skull Clamp, the 2 Bracers. And that's immediately 6 cards that you can commit to growing Agatha's power. Whatever it is. The best equipment, really. Just like get some really good equipment. Swords probably play really well in here. Alright, so Anarchomancer, Ignition, and our Singular Deflecting SWAT. Let's do it. We're going to tap this. We're going to pay 1. We're going to view our library. We're going to search for... What, go get our fetch? I mean our stomping. Close and shuffle that. That's graveyard. This is tapped. Next turn. Boom. We got one of our finishers there. Going here. This is probably where we just go Anarchomancer, go for red there. Now we're reduced. Next turn. Go here. I'd probably go Agatha here. Just so I could go boop boop and then tap here and add a +1/+1 to her. So she's 2 now. Next turn. Really good timing on Perforos there. Next turn. All right, so this is reduced by 1. Bracers for 2. Oh, Perforos it didn't matter though. We couldn't do another thing last turn. So bracers. Less than 5, 1, 2, 3. So it's not. So I guess we put just bracers on Agatha. Let's just play it out and see what happens. Hopefully nobody board wipes. We saved 1 mana on that actually. Because of a Anarchomancer. So we didn't equip those. Next turn. Now there's a finale. That's interesting. But here it's like, okay, let's get to work. Let's try some things. This deck requires math. Invokers here and bracers are on Invoker. So we're going to first pay... Damn, her power is still just low. We need to raise her power up. So we're going to pay a red. Oops. A red and 1. Creatures we control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Now her power is 2. We have no other red mana. So this is down to costing 6. Next turn. Ugh. Restart, go again. Well, we started with Soul Ring. That's always fun. Foothills. Stomping. $39. $37. Tap for ring. Let's just get all the attention on us right out of the gate. Tap for bracers. Next turn. Tower. I guess Agatha here. Or maybe we go Sabretooth and keep Agatha back. Call it good, build up some defense. Green. Go red, green. Agatha. Now we're open to be able to protect Agatha. Still slow. Nice top deck with the deflecting. Yeah, so far we're just not seeing the reliability of growing Agatha's power. We need to focus more on that a little bit. And then focusing it up around the activated abilities. Yeah, +1 counters. I think that's a good way to look for Agatha. And here we're getting flooded a little bit. I mean, we can put... So we can go Gorilla Shaman onto the field. Boop. And then we're going to be able to... Yeah, DNR, we're just testing the Agatha deck that we put together. If you focus on creatures that pump her and or the board up due to needing color mana to activate, then try to win with the colorless activated abilities, guys like balls is the way to go. Landfall, way to grow Agatha. Not 100% on that. We're acing artifacts now with Gorilla Shaman. Because she's going to take care of that one, so we just got to pay XX. So there's 1, 2, 3, and we're killing somebody's 3 cost something. There's a Chandra's. So there's the first thing that we've seen to be able to pump her power up. So we went through and made some changes after I showed off the first version. We did cut Spiteful Banditry, Growing Rights, Shadow in the Warp, Skull Clamp. We also cut Illusionist Bracers, Battle Mage Bracers, but we added Sword of Hearth and Home because it's going to be an easy +2/+2 plus extra value. Sword of Feast and Famine, easy +2/+2 plus extra value. Roaring Earth, whenever a land enters a battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on target creature. Boom. We don't care about the rest of that, but 2 mana landfall, grow Agatha by 1. pretty much every turn, plus even extra with our ramp. That's a really good inclusion in this deck. Tribute to the World Tree. I'm going to test this. I'm not 100% in love with it yet, but even though it's 3 green pips, having our commander enter automatically as a 3/3, or any of our creatures that are 3 power or greater drawing us a card, I think that this one has some potential. Retreat to Kazandu is almost the same as Roaring Earth, except it's 1 mana more for this enchantment. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. And then Fight Rigging at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then you can get the Hideaway thing if it's 7 or more. I think that that is going to feel a little bit better out of the deck. And as we discover more pieces that'll be able to either grow Agatha or go wide with, you know, token creators that are on activated abilities of creatures, or go get any of our combo pieces, that's kind of where we want to live with this deck. So let me know what y'all think of Agatha of the Vile Cauldron, and any absolutely critical tech that we missed. You gotta let us know down in the comments. Beautiful, homies. Look at us. We built a deck tonight, everybody.